My name is Mark. I grew up in a poor household and never got anything I wanted. Even so, there was nothing I could do about it, so I endured it. But, at my parents' request, I started working right after middle school to support the family. To be honest, I still don't know why my family didn't have any money. Even as an adult, I can't understand why we were so poor. I want to know, but whenever I ask, the question is brushed off. When I started working after middle school, I asked seriously, but I never got a clear answer. Why is our family so poor? All my friends have more money. None of my friends are working after middle school. Don't worry about that. Just do what you're told. Of course, we feel sorry for you. I don't mind working, but I want to know why. Otherwise, I can't stay motivated. There are some reasons we can't tell you. We're truly sorry for that, but we need you to work. I don't understand why you have to hide it. People ask me why I'm working so hard at my age. I see, you can't answer them, so you want to know from us. But we can't tell you. The more you hide it, the more curious I get. I'll keep working, so just tell me the truth. We appreciate you working after middle school, but we can't tell you the reason. Do I have to work my whole life without knowing? I don't want to work without a reason. Why do I have to do this? We'll tell you when you're older. Until then, please just keep working. We're very grateful. If you really are grateful, then tell me. Why do I have to endure this? Fine, I'll wait until I'm older. In the end, even now as an adult, I haven't gotten the answer. I can only guess, but I think my family had some debt. I was probably made to work to pay it off. I didn't understand as a child, but now I can grasp it a bit. If my parents had told me it was for debt, I would have refused. Because no matter how much I worked, it wouldn't benefit me. When I told my school that I was working after middle school, I was teased a lot. I still remember it vividly and think about it sometimes. Mark, you're going to work right after middle school, right? I knew you were poor, but working after middle school means you must be really poor. I don't want to work, but I have to help my parents. If I don't, my family will struggle. Being born into a family like that, you have no luck, Mark. An elite like me will go to college. You're just a middle school graduate. So you would stay dumb. I've decided to live my life this way. There's no point in making excuses. I don't know what will happen, but I'll enjoy it as much as I can. You don't have to act tough. Deep down, you must envy me. Sorry, my family is just too rich. Of course, I envy you, Jake. I love studying and want to go to college, but I can't because of my family's situation. Being born poor must be really tough. I'm glad I don't have to go through that. I can live doing whatever I want. Stop rubbing it in. I know your family is rich, and I know you're going to college. What, listening to rich talk makes you sick? Sorry about that. Jake always looked down on my poor family. But it was true, so I couldn't say anything back. His family had always been rich and never struggled. Because of that, he always looked down on us. I hated it, so I wanted to know the reason, but my parents never told me. Despite being teased, I started working after middle school. On graduation day, as I was leaving alone, Jake and a beautiful classmate named Sarah talked to me. We're going to the same high school. It's affiliated with a college, so we'll be together there too. Hard to imagine for a middle school grad like you, huh? That's great. Going to the same high school and college sounds fun. You're lucky. You must be jealous. Did you want to go to high school with the beautiful Sarah? Blame your poor parents. You don't have to say that. Jake, you were just lucky to be born into a rich family. How can you be so arrogant? Sarah, you secretly think he is too poor, don't you? You should be honest. I don't think that at all. I wasn't born rich either, and I understand how he feels. Thanks for the sympathy, Sarah. It means a lot. Have lots of fun in high school and college. Don't say such lonely things. You might not go to high school or college, but you can still hang out, right? Will you still hang out with someone like me after graduation? I thought you'd cut ties. I'd love it if you invited me. Even though I'm not going to high school. Of course, I'll invite you to hang out. It doesn't matter when you start working. So even if I'm in high school, I'll still invite you to hang out. She was a really kind person and always treated everyone nicely. She never looked down on me for being poor and always treated me as an equal. I was always grateful to her for that. I remember these moments clearly. Even though she wasn't poor, she always shielded me from being picked on too much. Without her, Jake's taunts would have affected me more deeply. So even as an adult, I am immensely grateful to Sarah. But Jake didn't like seeing her defend me. Every time she did, he would say even nastier things. Why are you defending him so much? Do you have some special feelings for him? It's not that. I just feel sorry for him being picked on, so I stand up for him. Thanks for always being on my side, Sarah. Because of you, I made it through middle school. Jake's the one in the wrong for saying such things. It's childish to insult someone in middle school. Why do I have to be insulted? Calling poor people poor is just normal, right? It's his fault for being poor. I don't think being poor is a fault. How does him being poor affect you, Jake? Does it cause you any problems? Not really, but I'm glad you defend me. But it's true, I am poor, so it's fine. He's not wrong. You being poor have nothing to do with Jake. It's senseless to insult him for it. You might be right, but I'm used to being insulted. I was happy you want to hang out with me. Do you really think she will invite you to hang out? She was just being nice. She won't actually invite you. I seriously plan to invite him. Why do you presume to speak for me, Jake? Stop it. You don't mean it. It's crueler to say it and not follow through. So, you want to look down on poor people too, Sarah? What you say makes no sense. If that's how you feel, I won't hang out with you anymore. I'll only invite Mark. Fine, do whatever you want. I don't want to hang out with someone who defends poor people. Because of me, they had a fight. But there was nothing I could do. Even if I had intervened, the situation wouldn't have changed. Their argument was heated, and I had no authority to speak. Not because I was poor, but because I wasn't going to high school. I was the only one in my middle school who was going straight to work. I was isolated and gossiped about. I hated it, and near graduation, I talked to my mom. I feel like everyone knows I'm working after middle school and they're talking behind my back. What should I do? Thinking about it is a waste of time. You're definitely working, so just ignore the gossip. But I can't help but hear it. Classmates insult me directly. It's because we're poor, you know that, right? Even if I call the school, they will just act out more. There's nothing we can do. Maybe, but I'm the only one working after middle school. I want to stop the gossip somehow. You're entering the workforce early, which is admirable. Education isn't everything, so don't worry. I've kept it a secret, but I want to go to high school and college too. I want to hang out with friends. I'm sorry we can't send you to high school or college. But you can still hang out with them. Treasure those friendships. If I hadn't been born into this family, I'd have a happier life. Why was I born here? I thought you were happy being born into this family because you never said otherwise. I don't always think that, but when I'm gossiped about, I wonder why I was born into this family. When I said that, Mom went quiet. She knew I was struggling and couldn't argue back. If she had, I might have rebelled. But seeing her expression, I knew I wasn't abandoned, so I resolved to work hard for my family. So I graduated from middle school and entered the workforce immediately. Now, I'm living alone, away from my parents' house. One day, out of the blue, I got a call from Sarah. I'm sorry for calling suddenly, Mark. I'm not the organizer, but I had your number, so I decided to call. No problem at all. You mentioned an organizer, what's that about? Is there a reunion or something? I thought I sent an invitation to your parents' house, but maybe you didn't get it. There's a class reunion in our hometown in 2 months. Oh, I had no idea. I've moved out and live on my own now, so I must have missed the invitation. Your invitation was probably sent to your parents' place. Since you didn't respond, I decided to call you. So, I can just confirm my attendance over the phone? I'd love to attend, but I'm a bit nervous about a reunion. You're a respectable working adult now, so there's no need to be nervous. But some of the attendees did say hurtful things back then. Well, I'll give it a try. If it gets uncomfortable, I'll just leave early and grab a drink somewhere. I'm sure that won't happen, but if it does, I'll join you. I think you're amazing for being so independent. It's not a big deal, but thanks. I'll go since you invited me. Great, I'll let the organizer know. I'll send you the details about the venue later. That's how I ended up deciding to attend the reunion. Since graduation, she is the only one I've stayed in touch with. So she went out of her way to contact me. I never expected a reunion, let alone an invitation. I'm sure they sent invites to everyone, but it was nice to be included. Not knowing what to expect, I decided to go, feeling a bit nervous. 2 months later, the day of the reunion arrived. I was supposed to go with Sarah, so we met at the train station. I've never been to a reunion, so I'm nervous. I've never been to anything like a college party either, so I feel out of place. Don't worry too much. Everyone's more grown up now. Just avoid the wrong groups, and you'll be fine. I'm glad you know these things. Without you, I wouldn't have come. Thanks for hanging out with me after graduation. I'm happy to hang out with you too. I know you're busy, but you always show up when I invite you. It's the best. Of course, I'd go if you invite me. I don't have many friends, and you're one of the few who invites me out. Whether that's true or not, it makes me happy. I learn a lot from hanging out with you, and you helped me during my job hunt. I don't know how I helped, but if hanging out with me had a positive impact, that's great. I'd love to keep hanging out. Let's grab a drink after the reunion. By the way, Jake is supposed to attend. I wonder what kind of adult he is now. To be honest, I don't want to see him. I have no good memories of him, and he'll probably look down on me again. If he starts, I'll leave early. I expected Jake to attend, but the thought of seeing him made me nervous. I have only bad memories of him, and I don't want to see him at all. He'd probably spot me immediately and start belittling me like in middle school. I didn't want to feel that again, but with so many people, I thought it would be okay. Even so, the memories of middle school made me anxious. But Sarah's encouragement reassured me. If anything happens, just come to me. I'll try to stay with you, but with so many people, anything could happen. I'm glad you said that. I'm really nervous because I've never been to a reunion. If anything happens, can I leave early? I don't particularly want to be there either, just want to see some old friends. We can leave after chatting a bit. Just hearing that makes me feel better. I'll keep an eye on Jake. Even though I'm more mature now, I still get nervous. There will be lots of adults around. If he says something out of line, someone will stop him. I hope so. Memories of middle school keep coming back. I just want it to go smoothly. So, feeling nervous, I arrived at the reunion venue. The place was already buzzing with lots of people, and some were quite drunk. After asking around, I found out they had started early because many arrived ahead of time. At least Jake wasn't there yet, so I could relax and enjoy myself. But I stayed on guard, unsure when he would show up. About an hour into drinking with everyone, he arrived, late because of work. Seeing him unchanged from our school days, memories flooded back, making me sweat. Hey everyone, you were waiting for me, right? It wouldn't be a party without a superstar like me. Let's have a great time tonight. What makes you so arrogant? You haven't changed at all since middle school. I didn't think you'd still be the same. What a thing to say right off the bat. You might not know this, Sarah, but I'm now the top earner at a top company. So don't underestimate me. Even if you're the top earner at a top company, we're just middle school classmates, so it doesn't change how I interact with you. Fine, whatever. I've got business with that poor guy over there. Meeting him is the real reason I came. As he said this, he slowly walked over to me. It seemed he had something to say to me. I had no idea what it could be. But one thing was for sure, it wouldn't be anything good. Given his arrogant introduction, he was probably going to brag about himself. As I was thinking that, Jake, with a smug grin, stood before me. Long time no see, poor boy. You're still wearing cheap clothes. Years have passed since middle school, but you haven't changed a bit. It doesn't matter what I wear. So, what do you want with me? Well, I've become a top earner at a prestigious company since then. I make more money than you could ever dream of. That's great for you. But why tell me? I don't really care. You're just jealous, aren't you? Admit it. Being poor is tough, right? Sure, being born poor wasn't great, but it doesn't bother me as much now. I cared more back in school. You must still be hung up on it. You're probably stuck in a low-paying job since you only have a middle school education. If you'd been born into a rich family, things would be different. He continued to look down on me. His reason for approaching me was to belittle me. As Sarah said, he hadn't changed since middle school. He flaunted his privileged life and looked down on others. It seemed like some of our classmates were laughing along with him. They were probably the ones who gossiped about me back then, still laughing now. But I've grown up, and such things don't bother me as much anymore. While I was thinking that, Sarah came to my rescue. Let's get out of here, Mark. This place is a waste of time. Let's go somewhere else and have a drink. The atmosphere here is ruining the taste of the alcohol. Sorry for making you feel that way. I'll treat you to the next place. Let's go find somewhere else to drink. You're not going anywhere. How about we all go to his place for the next round? Why would we go to my place? Aren't there usually planned venues for the after party? It makes no sense to come to my place. I want to see a poor person's home. Although, I bet it's an old, shabby apartment compared to my home. Fine, you can come over. But is everyone okay with moving the after party to my place? You're probably not happy about it, right? Your place is probably too small to fit everyone. Don't make us suffer. I don't know what you consider suffering, but I'm fine with it. I sometimes have drinks at home, so I have some alcohol. I don't want to drink your cheap liquor. I'll bring the alcohol. By the way, I live in a brand new apartment. Jake started showing everyone pictures of his apartment. It seemed he was really a top earner and lived in a nice place for someone in their 20s. While having everyone over was inconvenient, arguing was more trouble, so I agreed. Everyone kept making derogatory comments on the way to my place. They assumed I lived in a shabby, small apartment and planned to laugh when they saw it. Actually, they started booking a second after-party venue. We arrived in front of my building. I moved recently and live here now. I don't know where everyone else lives, but sorry if it feels small. Wait a minute, you live here? Stop joking. You're supposed to live in a shack, right? My childhood home was old, but I moved out and live here alone. It's close to work and very convenient. Why are you talking like this is true? There's no way a poor guy like you lives here. This is a prime location tower apartment. It might be rare for someone living alone, but I love the view, so I live here. The long elevator rides are annoying, though. Stop acting like you live here. Even if you moved out, you must be in some rundown apartment. Show us your real home. Jake couldn't believe I lived in a luxury tower apartment. In middle school, I wore old, hand-me-down clothes, so it was understandable. But now, I work hard and pay my own rent. As I was about to lead them into my home to prove my point, Sarah couldn't hold back any longer and stepped forward. Jake, you might not know this, but he has worked incredibly hard since graduating middle school and is now a successful entrepreneur. Mark, an entrepreneur? He didn't even go to high school. There's no way he could do that. Everyone seems to be laughing, so I guess no one believes it. Here's the website of his company, by the way. Sure, his name is listed as the CEO, but anyone can make a website like this. You are just trying to fool me. Even after she explained it, you still don't believe it, Jake? Fine. Let's go to my place then. With that, I led them into the tower apartment and opened the door to my unit. My last name was clearly written on the doorplate, making it undeniable. Jake's face turned pale with shock. After all, the person he had looked down on was now a successful entrepreneur living in a luxury apartment. He had been so smug, but now he was silent. He couldn't process the reality. Now, do you believe me? If you still don't, you're welcome to visit my office. No way a poor guy could afford a place like this. And seeing your name on the doorplate, you really are a successful entrepreneur. Jake, you've always looked down on him, but he never gave up and worked hard. Now he's shining as a successful entrepreneur. I'm embarrassed to admit it, but being looked down on by you pushed me to work even harder. So, because we insulted you, you grew in defiance? I can't believe I was surpassed by you. After all the insults, to be outdone by the person you belittled, that's truly pathetic. I never thought this would happen. I was so sure I'd never lose to Mark. How did he achieve so much? Thanks to the success of my business, I was able to renovate my parents' old house. They were so grateful and happy. Jake always boasted about his parents' achievements, but Mark has done something truly admirable. He persevered and succeeded despite his circumstances. The person I looked down on has succeeded. In middle school, he seemed so incapable. Who could have predicted this? If you hadn't looked down on anyone, you wouldn't be so devastated now. It must be painful to see the person you insulted succeed, right? With her words, Jake fell silent and left the apartment. It seemed she had hit the nail on the head. Ashamed, he had fled. I've never seen him like that. But I'm glad you could show him up, Mark. It makes me happy too. Thanks for always being there for me, Sarah. I wouldn't have come this far without you. After graduating middle school, I initially worked at a regular company but couldn't fit in, so I went independent. Mentored by successful entrepreneurs, I gradually grew my business. A few years after going independent, I sold my first company. Using the proceeds, I started a new company and built my wealth. Thanks to this, I could repay my parents and live happily. Had I not been born to my parents, I might have remained just an employee, so I'm grateful to them. From now on, I won't let my lack of formal education hold me back. I'll keep moving forward.